Hello, this is Malorian, and yes, this is a battle report. Don't turn it off, this is a battle report. Now, what this is going to be is the first game of the Bretonnian campaign for me. So, if you haven't seen what this stuff about, check the older videos. I'm not going to cover the whole thing right now, but basically, this is my first game. I'm trying to get all the virtues, and I'm going to go right for it, because so far I've seen one game from Once Bitten. He did pretty damn good. Haven't seen anything from Anthony yet, but basically, if I'm going to be in this campaign, I got to start hitting these out of the park right away. So, looking at it, I had to decide what virtues I'm going to be going for. Now, out of all of them, I decided for my strategy is I was going to go for some of the more crazy ones first. So I'm going to go for, in this game here, after the one for the virtue of the penitent. So with that one, I have the guy that's all by himself. He's stubborn. There's no tax, but he's not allowed to break from combat. So not too bad. I'm also going to go for ideal. I like ideal. I think it's pretty cool, but you can't take a level 4. Now, actually, I thought in the beginning we are going to say no magic. So you know what? I'm just going to go for no magic. I'm going crazy. We'll see if it works out. But the other thing is you have to always issue and accept challenges. So, he's going to be pretty good. But, of course, if you go up against something crazy, you might not want to be accepting everything. Finally, another one we're going for is for purity. Now, in this one here, you get the 5+ ward, of course, from the virtue, but you can't pray. That's a tax, and all you have to do is win. So it's a pretty serious one, and like I say, I just want to get this out of the way, earn this one, so I'm pretty much good to go for the rest of the campaign. So the game we played was 2,500 points, and what I took in my list was, first of all, these characters. So I have a lord that has the virtue of the penitent, a steed, shield, done. That's pretty much all you can give the guy. Then I have a lord who's going to have the virtue of ideal, silver lance, steed, and shield. I took this guy normally in other games sometimes when I did take the lord, so this is fine. He's great. He gets in there, automatically hits all 5 attacks, and he does awesome. So looking forward to using him. I'm going to be also taking a paladin BSB with the virtue of purity, the Grommel helm, and steed, and he's done. Overall, the bad thing I realized with taking this combo is, of course, the BSB can't be your general. The guy with the ideal can't be your general. So it's actually going to be the guy that's going to be on his own being my general. So kind of an odd choice, but it's just the way it's going to work out for this game. After this, I'm going to have a whole bunch of knights. So I'm going to have 15 knights errant, and they're going to be having the banner and the errantry banner. Another 15 that have the banner, which is the banner of discipline. Then I have another 12 knights of the realm. They have full command. They have the flaming banner. Then 5 knights of the realm. 5 knights of the realm. They're just kind of like my throwaway guys. Then 9 questing knights with banner, and they have the gleaming pennant because a lot of times I like taking them around the flank. And then I have 12 grail knights, yes 12, with a banner and the banner of swiftness. So lots of knights, but no magic, just the way I love it. Now, the opponent I was up against here, he was bringing Dark Elves. Now, his Dark Elf list it's kind of built more around what he used in 7th. This is actually, he hasn't really done much of any 8th at all. So he's kind of limited with what he had before, but he actually was still be able to put out a pretty good competitive list. So what he had was a level 4, which had the sacrificial dagger, and I don't know what else. He had another level 2, and so the level 4 was shadow, level 2 was with the actual dark magic. That one had a 3rd spell. I'm sure there's a scroll in there somewhere, but of course it was useless against me. Then he had a noble that was on a steed, and so I was pretty sure it's going to have the pennant and all that stuff. And then he had a big unit of spearmen, which of course is the bunker which you get to kill. Big unit of the crossbowmen, some little dark riders going around, some shades with the extra hand weapon, of course, their crossbows. Then he had an okay size unit. I think it was 20 of the Blackguard. That's as big as you can make it anyway. Then a good size unit of the Corsairs. They're going to be frenzied. And another small unit of Corsairs that's going to have little hand bows. He's actually going to use them as kind of like a throwaway unit. Then also a Hydra, because hey, you got to take a Hydra. And then finally his BSB, which is on the cauldron and all that cool stuff. So overall, I like the fact that I'm up against a person with less experience in 8th. Maybe I can get some advantage there. But then again, I'm playing Bretonnians. I'm playing no magic. and I'm not praying. That's the other thing there is I can't pray with the purity. So no ward saves. It's going to be tough. And he's a guy too that he knows his stuff. He watches my channel. So even though he hasn't played games of 8th, a lot of them, he's seen a lot of games and he knows how it works. So should be interesting. Let's see what happens. So looking at this here, this is going to be my 3 characters. So obviously the one on the left, that's my BSB. The one in the middle, I love this model. This is one I put together back when you were allowed to do bits ordering, and that's going to be my ideal silver lance guy. And then the one on the right, that's my guy that's going to be Mr. Solo. So he just has to get in there and survive. On his left flank, you can see here, he has the Dark Riders and his crossbowmen, so lots of shooting. His center is set up like this. So of course, his noble, with me having no magic or shooting, can be just up there by himself. But, you know, it's kind of what you expect. The tough units up front, he can beef them however he wants with Mind Razor or any of that fun stuff. So could be pretty hard, but you know what? If I hit any of these guys with 2 lances, I should be okay. And then on the right flank here, he's going to have his Hydra and his Corsairs with the little hand bow things. On my side, I decided to do these bum shots because really when it gets to the overview, this is going to make more sense anyway. So on the far left, I have my Knights Errant that have the Discipline banner. There's a BSB with them. The middle unit there, that's actually my Questing Knights. They're the ones I converted from the Great Swords. Then a unit of the 5 Knights here. Then I have my big old unit here of the Grail Knights, my general. Then man, these guys are real dumb because I have the Knights Errant with the Errantry banner, so they're -2 to their test, and they also have the Ideal Knight, which makes them another -1. So they pretty much always have to charge, but the way things are lined up, I think I'll always want to charge anyway, so not that bad. And then I have these 5 Knights over here, and then also the Knights of the Realm with the Flaming banner as well. And then far to the left flank here, he's going to be having these shades here, picking on me, shooting off my guys. Not much I could do about it. I thought about putting one of my units of 5 knights over there just to force them away, but in the end, he's skirmishers. He's probably going to get around me anyway. Might as well ignore him. All right, and here's an overview of the board. So, as agreed by in the campaign, all the games of it are going to be pitch battles. So that's all we're doing here. We got 7 pieces of terrain. So we have the river on the left, a building. He has a hill there on his side. In the center, this is kind of crazy. We got the Altar of Cain, so Frenzy, and also the Banestone. And so what we did is we can actually combine them. So yeah, the center of the board is going to be pretty damn crazy, giving out Frenzy, but you're also getting wounded easier. Then we have a forest here on the right and the settlement of order, and the one building you see here with the little blue flag actually turned out to be the Grail Chapel. So that's going to work out for me, giving me stubborn and a 6+ regen when I don't have a ward, but I got to get there first. So overall, I like the way it's set up. I just got to get in there and kill some stuff, and hopefully this little single person of his won't be too much in my way. So I actually win first turn after he vanguards, and I need a 10 at this point to charge his guys. I decide to go for it. He flees, and I mean, he's just going to be able to rally and come back, but at least that's some fast cav that's behind his lines, and it'll take him another turn to reposition. Overall, the center then looks like this after. So I have my questing knights that move up because they're going to move up, bait, flee, and then hopefully make an easier charge for my big knight bus on the left to get into his corsairs. I'm also up there trying to do the same thing with the knights 5. And then you can see, yeah, I'm trying to hit those blackguard with my Grail Knights and my big huge Knight Iron thing. And if I do that, I'm just going to destroy them. So that's the hope, but I got to see what he does first. And of course, my turns are pretty easy because there's no magic and no shooting. And then on the right flank, I'm not totally happy with this. Basically, when I was doing the whole deployment battle, I put that little unit of 5 down first, and then the way it worked out, because he did his Hydra later, I had to put my Knights of the Realm after that. Now they're kind of in the way, so I didn't want to just completely just throw them off to the side, because another thing that's sort of risk here is the Hydra could just cuddle up to the back of that building, and then I can't get a charge anyway. So I'm just kind of move up, being threatening. Maybe I can bait with the unit of 5 Knights. We'll see. Alright, so his turn one, he charges first with his Corsairs into the questing knights. I flee. He then redirects into the units of 5. I flee. So now this is awesome because he's going to throw his flank to my unit on the left, but he only went up 2 inches, which still worked out to show me his flank, but it is a long charge. I'll need a 9, but man, if I pull that off, he is done. He also goes and moves his guy right in front of me. So we're going to do this solo versus solo. And, my mission is just to stay in combat. So hopefully I can do it. Otherwise, the end of his turn looks like this. Not really too much movement. You can see his Dark Riders came back. Some shooting killed a couple of knights on the left. His magic phase was a bust. He just did one little... The bigger magic missile to my questing knights did one hit and I saved it. And then otherwise you can see his Corsairs moving up on the right side, but that doesn't block me. I can still do a double charge into his Corsairs. Or sorry, his Blackguard. And here on the right side, the Hydra just really moves up, so that's great. I can actually take it on with my Flaming Banner. Only problem is that I'll have to charge in with both units to make it happen, but hey, at least I can go do a Flaming Banner to a Hydra. However, on my turn 2, I charge and I fail with the flaming unit. So that sucks. One of the horses tripped on the way in and they're basically Hydra food. And in the center, okay, I was able to get, of course, my lord into his noble, so hooray, but my Grail Knights failed to charge, so I'm only getting the 1 unit into him. He currently has a 5+ ward on them, so it really will not be enough. And to make things worse, I also failed to get the charge off on the flank of the Corsairs. Rolled absolutely pitiful. And yeah, so that's bad news for my center. So end of my second turn here now. And like I always say, usually at the end of turn 2, you know what's going to happen for the Bretonnians. So let's kind of look at what's happening right now. I have my one lord who is now stuck in with some stubborn a blackguard about to be flanked on both sides. I have my lord that's fighting his noble. I've already taken 1 wound because it turns out he also has a sword that makes me have he has him loaded up with the 1+ armor save, the pennant, and then also the biting blade. So I'm -1 to my armor save. So not the way I wanted to be fighting. And yeah, I mean, as it's looking as far as the campaign, my ideal guy is probably gonna die. So far he's done his thing where he challenged and killed his champ, but whatever. And it looks like my pennant guy is going to be dying too, so looking pretty bad. The only good news I had is that after he didn't kill that much of my knights, so that was lucky. And then I held, which was lucky as well. But the other thing was too is that actually at this point we forgot about the stubborn, so they would have been stubborn anyway. But yeah, they're holding up that Hydra, so he can't charge me on his turn. His turn 2, and he flanks me on either side like I thought, and the guys on the left have killing blow. So, 3 attacks each, they're going to go insane and just slaughter me, really. Okay, and then the magic phase happens, and it gets pretty crazy. He gets 10 dice to my 5, channels 2, uses 2 of them, fails the cast with the level 2, so she's done with a double 1. And then the level 4 goes for the reducing my toughness, gets total power. I'm reduced to toughness 1 with everything, so that sucks. But then she loses 2 spells and becomes level 2. So now she does no Mind Razor. So that really helps, but yeah, this unit is just screwed. Absolutely screwed. Alright, so end of the turn looks like this. So his Black Riders or whatever are there to go and just get in my way on the left side. He shot down another, I think, 1 of my knights. In the combat there between my lord and his noble, still just a pillow fight. For a while I was kind of thinking too, like, you know what, I might actually not be too bad in the middle because he has to pursue me because he has frenzy. I'm faster. If I can get away, it'll be awesome. It also helped that he just rolled like crap for killing blows. He really tried to killing blow my lord, especially since I had no ward save, but out of like 8 hits, he got 0 sixes. So I survived, but then when I broke, he ran me down. So he restrained with the other 2 units, held with them, and now it's looking like maybe it'll be okay, because even though I got crushed in the center, ideal guy is dead, well, now I can flank the Corsairs, I have some pretty good charges on the left, it might be okay. And then the Hydra fight too, he kills another couple or whatever it is. I have two, they're stubborn, they hold, and then I also pass my test to shuffle on over so that I can charge in with my Flaming Lance. So my turn 3, that's what I do. The Flaming Lance charges in here, and that should be enough to kill this guy. He hasn't used his breath weapon yet, but I go before him and I'll be reducing the strength of it. On the left side, the questing knights charge the Dark Riders. They flee. Then the knights errant with BSB charge them. They're forced to flee again. Both units redirect to the crossbowmen and make it. So now this will be awesome because I'm going to crush this unit and then I'm going to be able to overrun and get the Dark Riders as well. So lots of points should be coming my way over here. And yeah, that's what happens. I restrain with the BSB so I can redirect and reform and threaten other stuff. And otherwise, I go into the Dark Riders and bam, there goes his level 2 and 2 of his units. In the center here, still a pillow fight between our two characters. I can't do anything to him, obviously, and then coming back, he just keeps on failing to wound or to hit, so I'm getting lucky there. I go into the Corsairs, crush them, run them down, but then I lined it up so I'd be overrunning into the Blackguard so I could finish them off too. But I rolled a 3 for my overrun. That's with 3 dice, taking the 2 highest. So now I'm set up for an easy countercharge for him, so that's unfortunate. And on the right side, yeah, he almost kills the 1 unit, does some damage to me, but I beat him, I break him, and run him down. So the right flank and left flank are completely mine now. His turn 3, first of all, I have to say that it was major that his unit tried to charge me over here. Looking at it, I decided to risk it. He needed a 7, but I thought, hey, even if he gets to me, I'll probably get away and hop over the building in the river and be safe. So I held. He failed to charge, went for a pit of shades on me, and you can see here I got the double 6s to stop him. I only had 2 dice, so it was really lucky because he had 2. He rolled 2 2s and he channeled 1. So really, super lucky here to stop Pit of Shades. And then on this side, like I said, he's counters in here. He actually gave them +1 attack. They also have the Razor Standard, so they're already reducing my save by 2. Maybe been better to go for Killing Blow, but I don't know the math on it. Either way, I'm going to be taking some losses. So end of his turn, it looks like this. He kills a lot of my guys, but I hold. And that's because I was just barely within 6 inches of the Grail Chapel. So I was stubborn, failed, re-rolled because of BSB, held. So really lucky there. Also lucky too because my horse did a wound to him. Of course, my horse is actually better than my guy because either way he's getting a 2+ save, but then his reverse ward save, it's easier to go through with the horse. So pretty good there. I won the combat, but he held, and yeah, I might be able to hold this stuff off. At this point right here, I have to decide whether I should try charging into his spearmen or going into the Blackguard. I think at this point I just start needing to be more safe. Plus, since I know he has an assassin, the assassin hasn't jumped up yet. Obviously, it's going to be in the spearmen. So my turn 4, that's what I do. I decide to, let's just get the points. Charge in, get into the flank of the guard here. Now, if I fail this, I'm being flanked by the spearmen, but really, between all these attacks and the ground knights, I should be able to finish off the last 5 guys here. And in the end, I do. I, kill them all. The Corsairs break. I pursue and overrun, get outside of the charge arc of his spearmen. The small unit of 5 has reformed to try and help in with the noble lord fight. And the questing knights on the left, you can't really see them, but they just wheeled around to get outside of the arc, and were able to threaten both them and the BSB Cauldron. His turn 4, he comes over here and he Pit of Shades my guys, kills 4 of them or something. I don't know. Okay, he hit 6 of my guys, and I failed 5 of the 6 initiative tests. So that was pretty bad, but I passed my break test, and yeah, ow. Otherwise, in his turn 4, like I say, there wasn't too much he could do. He just really reformed, did that magic like we already talked about. The one combat was again a pillow fight. I can't believe how lucky I'm getting. And then he just kind of shuffled over his cauldron a bit. So my turn 5, the knights charge in here in the flank of the noble, and hopefully now I can just either do the last wound or through combat res break him, but I'm feeling a lot better about this combat now. And back here, what I tried to do was save my other units because there are ways I could save my units, but I'd have to be kind of tricky and it might not work. So I tried charging the rear of his spearmen with my great swords, or not great swords, my questing knights, but I failed the charge. So unfortunate, but now I have to kind of deal with it the fun way. So what the fun way entails is I have to get the ground knights out of the way. The knights of the realm march up. I think a few of my guys died from tripping on the fence, of course, but I passed my panic. The BSB leaves the unit, comes up forward here, and then the knights errant reform. So what I'm going to do here is I'm setting up a double flee, and then also that'll mean that on my turn I can charge with both the knights errant and the questing knights in the rear. So hopefully that's what I need to finish off this unit. And so end of my turn 5, it's looking like this. I did not finish off his noble, but that's not even a bad thing because now my lance bonus is gone. And again, this is just better for getting past the pennant. So his turn 5, and the double flee things happen, and he's not able to get to me. Actually, I think the positioning of his unit was wrong. He should have actually been kind of more in front of my unit, but the knights errant. But either way, it was a forced failed charge, and now he's showing off the flank to my knights errant if I want to take it. And even better news is that even though I didn't kill his noble, he broke from combat. I ran him down. Turned out this forest was a blood forest, and two of my knights crashed on the way in. But this is fantastic. As far as the campaign goes, I'm pretty sure my BSB is going to be doing his thing. This guy did his thing. Fantastic. And end of the turn, it looks like this. So what I decided at this point is I could charge in, but it's just not worth it. He has killing blow on himself. He has an assassin in there. I'm just really in a good position just to avoid him. So that's really going to be the idea. So my turn, last turn, the only charge I do is the questing knights going into his BSB cauldron here. And at the end of the turn, it looked like this. Now, he actually killed a good number of my questing knights, but I still win in combat, doing 2 wounds to him and charge, banner, all that stuff. Even with just 3 knights attacking, it's still pretty damn good. The Grail Knights go and they pass a marching test just to kind of go get out of the line of sight. The Knights of the Realm had to keep on running, but they're pretty far back now. I think they're even outside the possible 17 charge, so that's just fantastic. So really the Spearmen, there's nothing they can really do. So his turn, last turn, the combat at the top with the whole cauldron thing, I'm not able to finish him off. He passes his stubborn. What he does is he just reforms over here. He does a Pit of Shades to my Knights Errant, and that kills a bunch. They hold. Then he does Pendulum to my Lord. And again, I get really lucky to stop him because he rolled really high, but I got double sixes. He shoots into me with the guys on the left, the Shades. No wounds there. His assassin has the stars though, so that's the one where it's like strength 6 to me because it's manbane and all that stuff. But luckily, out of 3 shots, he failed 2 of the 2 wounds, and then I saved the other one for the armor save. So, whew, that's it. I stay all alive, and that's the end of the game. So at the end of the day for the campaign, I have 2 good, 1 bad. My penitent guy, he got in there. He fought in the combat. He did not break, and he was alive at the end of the game. The BSB guy, he's there. I did not pray, and I won the game, so that's all great. Unfortunately, the ideal guy died. However, then I remembered after that you know what? He doesn't have to live. If I did the thing, so every single time he had to issue or accept the challenge, which I did, and I win the game, it doesn't matter if he dies. So I actually got all 3 of my objectives. So this is fantastic. Obviously, yeah, as far as the campaign goes, this is just great news. So there you have it. Not only a victory for the Bretonnians, it was also a triple score for the campaign. And these are ones that are going to be pretty hard to get to. The one where you don't pray, the one where no magic or no level 4, depending which way you go. Having those ones out of the way now, that is massive. So, I mean, the whole penitent thing, that's whatever. It's kind of an odd thing that kind of forces its way into your army. So it's, again, very nice to have that gone, have that done. And I'm feeling great as far as the campaign goes, having these done. Of course, in this game, I also have to feel fairly lucky. in a way, I was unlucky in that when I set up those initial charges, I think if the charges all went off like they were supposed to, I would have been just fine. The Corsairs would have been done from the flank charge. The Blackguard, if they took the double charge from the ideal knight and also all of the knights errant, and then also the Grail Knights, that's just would have smashed them. So if that would have happened, it would have been probably not much of a game. The one thing that is massively lucky though is the whole idea that his magic did nothing. I have no magic. He has two casters. He's Dark Elves with a dagger, but between him having, failing stuff and losing wizard levels and me getting double sixes, his magic did nothing the whole game really, other than killing some knights that didn't matter. So really lucky there, and yeah, hope you guys like watching it, and there'll be another one over the next 2 weeks. So see you then. Bye.